Hello and welcome to CustyCalculations.tv. My name is Catherine MacWillie. I'm your host and the CEO for Custy Calculations Calendars and Orders. Well, it's almost here, October 31st, Halloween, a day many families look forward to, especially those with young children, shopping in the store, looking for that perfect costume for a mermaid, a witch, a dragon hunter, a goblin, a ghost, whatever the case may be. Young children all look forward to Halloween, and their parents look forward to documenting those cute little costumes with photographs that they'll look back at years later. Teenagers look forward to Halloween as well, who can get the most candy, who can eat the most candy, or who can outdo each other with costumes and makeup. But there's another group that looks forward to Halloween too. It's a group you never thought of before. Now, if you have young children that are watching this video with you or within earshot, please stop and remove them from the room. They should not have to learn about the information that I'm about to provide you. That's because young children should never have to hear the words registered sexual offenders or pedophiles. That's the group that's looking forward to Halloween just as much as you are. And there's only a few states that recognize the danger that it presents to young children and families. You see, there's only a few states that require their registered sexual offenders to put up signs that say no candy, or order their registered sexual offenders to keep their lights off and their doors shut, not open, and distribute candy to young children. Still others are requiring some of their probably more serious registered sexual offenders to come into the offices to ensure compliance to the no contact with children rule. But this is nowhere near what you need to do as a parent to protect your children. Think you're safe in the state of California? Don't be. There's more registered sexual offenders in the state of California than anywhere else. 61,000 registered sexual offenders. Think you're safe in Florida? Florida has over 45,000 registered sexual offenders. So just how do you protect yourself? Well, the first thing you need to be aware is that there are so few states that are distributing these signs and so few parole officers that are ordering their people in even have the knowledge that this is available to them or that they could be doing it. It's a relatively new idea that you could easily find yourself knocking on the door of a registered sexual offender who violates their parole conditions and hands out candy to your child. So what do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is Google the words sexual offender. Now, many websites will come up giving you any number of choices. Type in your address, type in your zip code, specify within 1,000 feet, 2 miles, 5 miles. Specify you want to know if there's any registered sexual offenders who work or live near where you live. Remember, there's two different categories, work or live. You want to be on a website that gives you that ability. Now, the first thing you want to do is not only check where you live, but check their schools, their route to school, libraries, movie theaters, amusement parks, arcades, anywhere that your children go with adults or without adults, even playgrounds where your children play. Remember, registered sexual offenders, pedophiles, both those who've been caught and those who haven't, they love children. They're looking for parents who are not paying as much attention to their children as they are. It's so easy to walk off with a child even when you're there, even when you're present. We've certainly got enough children missing in this country every year to prove that fact. So, is it enough to just run that information? No, you have to be vigilant, as I just said, even at playgrounds. Now, don't think just because you're on the lookout for an adult that you have done enough to protect your children. There are young adolescents now that are also dangerous to your children who are sexual offenders but aren't on the internet. In fact, the internet only provides information on about 75% of all registered sexual offenders. There's another 25% that have filed and been approved for an exception. People who do not pose a risk to those in the general public. They may have molested their own children, touched the outside of their clothing, or extended family members. So they're considered not as much a risk to those outside the family and to the public, but are still registered sexual offenders. Now, we at Custody Calculations want you to have a safe and happy Halloween, but you need to do more. And there is additional information even outside Halloween. For instance, Christmas is coming up. In the state of California, we've at least taken the measure of passing a law that says registered sexual offenders cannot be Santa Claus. But did you know that registered sexual offenders can obtain custody and monitored visitation of their children through a loophole in the family law court system, and no one's even aware of it, not even the courts? A 24-year law enforcement officer, only my company has identified some of these serious issues in dealing with registered sexual offenders, and I'm asking for your help. To learn more, go to www.custodycalculations.com or give $10 to our Power of the $10 Bill campaign. It deals not only with the reform of family law, but it deals with closing up loopholes such as those that I've just identified, dealing with registered sexual offenders.